As we continue the series in the long anticipation for the 40th anniversary of WrestleMania. Up next is WrestleMania 10 at Madison Square Garden in New York in front of 18,065 fans and 4,200 at the Paramount. It took place on March 20, 1994 with a $420,000 pay-per-view buy and a $960,000 gate. This would mark the first WrestleMania that Hulk Hogan did not make an appearance. It would be Randy Savage's last match he would have on U.S. TV in the company. It's the only WrestleMania that The Undertaker did not make an appearance on before the end of the streak. Although Gorilla Monsoon was at WrestleMania, it was the first time he did not host the event or lead on commentary. Although it felt like the New Generation was first declared 3 months after WrestleMania, making this the last golden era, WrestleMania, and a perfect close to that era. In commentary we have Vince McMahon and Jerry Lawler, with Todd Pettengill for interviews. Celebrities to the show include Little Richard, Burt Reynolds, Jennie Garth, Rhonda Shear, Donnie Wahlberg, and Hair Club founder Sy Sperling. Also in attendance were WWE legends such as Nikolai Volkoff, Freddie Blassie, Lou Albano, Mae Young, and Fabulous Moolah, with Roddy Piper refereeing the last match. It would have been nice to see more legends, even Mr. T, but he would show up months later in WCW. The card was stronger than previous years, with the big sell being the WWF Championship being contested twice, with WWF champion Yokozuna defending his title up against Lex Luger. The winner would face Bret Hart, who gets a shot at the title. It was done this way since both Bret and Lex were co-winners of the Royal Rumble. The storytelling was superb that night. While Lex was screwed out of winning the title, Owen Hart defeated Bret Hart in one of the best openings in WrestleMania history, which led to Bret winning the WWF title later that night and Owen looking on with envy. Also on the card was the legendary ladder match for the WWF Intercontinental title between Shawn Michaels and Razor Ramon. What we attempt to do is provide an alternative perspective on an already great WrestleMania 10 card and make it 4 hours long instead of 3. Yokozuna, C, versus Bret the Hitman Hart for the WWF Championship. Mr. Perfect becomes surprise special guest referee. We open up WrestleMania with the first WWF title match as Bret gets to go first. Coin toss on Raw goes in his favor. The match goes on as it originally did, with Yoko falling from the ropes, hitting his head hard on the mat, and Bret getting the pinfall to win the title. Randy Macho Man Savage versus Owen Hart in a singles match. We would have Randy's feud with Crush end at the Royal Rumble. This new feud began when Bret refuses to wrestle his own brother no matter how much Owen hates him. Owen attacks Bret on Raw and Savage jumps Owen from commentary to save Bret and is sickened by Owen's hatred for his own brother. Savage almost won the WWF title till Owen screwed Savage over. Owen talks about how he's going to end the old guard of the WWF and even makes Bob Backlund submit on Raw, giving off a legend killer vibe. They put on a great 15-minute match with Randy having most of the upper hand till Owen would focus on the legs. We would put Owen over with the sharpshooter on Randy, who passes out and is unable to continue. Owen would hold him for another 30 seconds after the bell rang. Owen says he can beat Bret and that he should be in the main event. 20-man tag team battle royale for the vacant undisputed WWF Tag Team Championships. The Heavenly Bodies, the Steiner Brothers, the Quebecers, the Headshrinkers, the Smoking Guns, Men on a Mission, the Bushwhackers, Well Done, 1, 2, 3 Kid and Jim Powers, and Kwang and Adam Bomb. We would have the title vacated early on as they swapped hands a few times in the year, and after 2 controversial finishes, the title gets vacated. The Men on a Mission win the WWF tag titles after Mabel throws out the 1, 2, 3 Kid to be the last man standing for his team. Tatanka versus IRS in a singles match. We would not let Tatanka lose his streak to Ludwig Borga back in December, which was a bad idea. We would rather have him lose his streak later on so that his heel turn would be stronger. The feud began with IRS making a claim that Tatanka never paid his taxes, even going as far as declaring that his whole tribe hasn't, and starts to steal from Tatanka, even going on reserve for a raid. This makes Chief Jay Strongbow return backing Tatanka. Tatanka completely dominates and wins the match by pinfall in less than 2 minutes. Alunda Blaze, C, versus Luna Vachon for the WWF Women's Championship. While Leilani Kai is a legend, We would prefer using talent fans are used to for a WrestleMania and have Kai in attendance as one of the legends. We would quickly start this feud with Luna pinning Kai on a Raw episode to get a title shot. Later Luna slaps Blaze, beating her down the following Raw, leading to the match. Blaze retains the title by DQ after Luna uses a foreign object in the match. Earthquake vs. Crush in a singles match. We would have Earthquake make a challenge to Yokozuna in February for the WWF title, and Crush would cost him the title since he was managed by Mr. Fuji as well. This starts a feud with Earthquake, who wins by his splash finisher. Earthquake would then challenge Yokozuna to a match following WrestleMania. Razor Ramon C. versus Shawn Michaels for the undisputed WWF Intercontinental Championship in a ladder match. We leave this classic match alone with Razor retaining the title. Bam Bam Bigelow versus Doink the Clown and Dink in a handicap match. Luna won't be in the match but would be by Bigelow's side. We would continue the feud with Bigelow being sick of Doink's antics. Bigelow would go over after Dink gets squashed and the referee ends the match. Sparky Plug versus Double J Jeff Jarrett in a NASCAR race segment. Jeff gets in a feud with Sparky, claiming he's a better racer. Sparky claims he can't sing. Sparky challenges him to a country music standoff on Raw, but Jeff refuses and instead accepts a racing challenge. This would be a pre-taped NASCAR race. They would race off on a real racetrack with professional drivers. They don't finish the race as Jeff drives into Sparky. We would then have Jarrett and Sparky fight each other off on a racetrack with no winner. Gimmicky, but meant for entertainment value. Diesel versus Rick Martel in a singles match. Diesel dominated the Royal Rumble and Rick Martel turns babyface shortly before the event, making it his final match in the WWF. The match is meant as a filler to the main event, with Diesel powerbombing Martel for the win. Bret the Hitman Hart C. versus Lex Luger for the WWF Championship. Roddy Piper is guest referee. The match many fans were hoping for back then. Both babyfaces clash for 20+ minutes, ending with Luger going for his elbow finisher as Bret is in a corner. Bret moves away with Luger landing his elbow over an exposed turnbuckle that hurts him, and Bret getting in a roll-up pin to win the match. Piper hands over the title to Bret, who celebrates with several stars who come out to congratulate him, and Owen comes out watching in frustration and envy. Alternative main event. Bret and Luger go first to see who gets a title shot, while Yokozuna faces another opponent like Earthquake to make it fair. What did you think of this card? Stay tuned for WrestleMania 11. Comment, like, subscribe, and thank you for watching In the Plot.